It is that time of the year again when all taxpayers are required to declare and submit their tax return forms to the receiver of revenue. Thus, business has not been as usual at the Windhoek Inland Revenue Office over the past few days, as taxpayers have been rushing here to beat the deadline. The submission of tax return forms is necessary for a proper assessment to determine that the right amount of tax has been paid to the state. This is particularly done because of the income of the taxpayers that keep on changing due to annual pay rises, promotions, or new employment. Sam Shivute is the Commissioner of Inland Revenue. He says those who fail to submit their tax returns forms on time will be penalized by 10% of the amount that is due to the state, which will also attract a 20% interest per annum. Since the 30th of June falls on a Sunday this year, the deadline has now been moved to next week, Monday, the 1st of July.
If you fail to come by Monday, something that I do not encourage, yes, we would still want you to submit your return forms. Try to submit it as soon as possible. But the danger with that is that when you then submit, if there was an amount which is due, let's say for example, maybe your employer did not deduct the right amount of taxes from your salary, then you will be penalized for that.
Shivute says as his office receives thousands of tax return forms, some might be misplaced, resulting in the taxpayers being suspected of not having submitted their returns.
Now, to avoid or to mitigate those situations, that's why we are asking our taxpayer to say, well, when you bring in your return, try at least sometime to have a copy, and when you submit your return to our tax officials, insist that your copy is stamped. And I would want to advise all the taxpayers to ensure that they have at least in their houses a tax file where they keep copy of all their documents that are related to taxes, so that when the receiver of a revenue requests for some documents, you always have your proof to submit.
The Namibian tax administration system is currently under reform to move from manual to electronic processing system. There are 462,000 individual taxpayers registered with the Inland Revenue, and during the last financial year, their contributions generated over $13 billion to state revenue.